Yes, Khadija, you can start your presentation. Are you going to share some slides?
Yes, ma'am, I'm going to.
Okay.
Right, so Assalamu alaikum everyone, good morning. Um, I'm sure everyone already knows what my presentation is going to be about. So before I do that, I would like to share some pictures with you just to lighten the mood and to have your attention. I would like you to look at the screen and just see what I'm showing.
Yeah.
So these are the expectations we have of having an online class. We feel that students are going to be attentive, they are going to be very interactive, they will listen to us, it will go very smoothly. But this is the reality of it actually that we are facing now. We are actually very new to the whole online teaching, and it is actually very difficult also to conduct classes very smoothly online because of such reasons. We do not know what's happening behind the scenes with the students. So this could be something that is happening. Maybe they're sleeping or they're absent and they make excuses, or even that, they might put up a picture and then, they might be pretending to attend the class. So we really do not know what's happening. And this is something very light for the teachers. Sometimes we feel like that because there are so many difficulties when teaching an online class. Sometimes we feel like making an excuse and not attending the classes, but yes, we never do that. Okay, so with that I will start my topic. My topic for today's workshop is interactive online class. Now I know that everyone already we've been already teaching online classes. I'm sure many of the teachers here know more than I do, and maybe I might be repeating the same things, or I hope I'm not. So please excuse me. I'm just trying to share what I have experienced or what I have learned from teaching, and some more additions I have made from research. Basically, these are the contents that I will be focusing. I haven't written here much because my other slides have more content. So firstly, what is an interactive online class? Why am I talking about interactive online class, and why is it important? So an interactive class means that I do not want to be I don't want my class to be an one way communication where I am only explaining and that the students are either listening to me or just not even responding. Even in the physical classroom, maybe you can expect some responses from your students, but that has diminished even more in online classes where you cannot see them, where you're not physically present with them, and you do not know whether they are doing the tasks or not, or whether they are paying attention or not. Like, there are so many barriers now because of online communication. We are not having any face-to-face interaction with our students. So in that sense, online having an interactive online class is even much more difficult because we have to include a lot of things to make it interactive and to gain the attention of our students. Because now that we do not see them face to face, we do not know what actually they're doing behind the scenes, whether they're actually listening or they're they have gone back to whatever interests them. So an online interactive learning by its nature includes the learner in the process of learning and requires interactivity, not passivity. I do not want any passive learners in my class where they're just attending for the sake of the class, and they're just doing their activities and they're leaving, but they are not giving any input to the class. I do not want students like that. And actually, if possible, we would like to avoid those kind of students or make them active learners. So without interactivity, students are not engaged and they are not learners. So in an interactive online class, it is very important to have student to content, like there should be student engaging with the content, and there should be student to teacher communication, there should be student to student communication, and then the last is student to community. So they should even relate those things that they are learning in the class to the outside community. Okay, so when I talk about an interactive class, first I would like to talk about what are the drawbacks of online teaching, like what are the difficulties that we face when we are teaching. And I just put out 4 of the most common ones that we are facing now and how we can overcome those. So first we have idle learners or idle listeners. They can also be said as passive learners. They are just students who just come into the class, they are attending the class. You might find that they are having excellent attendance and they are giving you the work, submitting that work on time. And there are also students who don't even reply anything in the class, they are not even attending the class. So we have different kinds of students. So what can we do for these kind of students? How can we attract them? How can we grab their attention so that they are with us in our class and not going back to what interests them? And then we will talk about technical difficulties with online teaching tools. Now, this is a major issue when teaching online because we are so very new to this method of teaching. We are facing difficulties every day. So it is mostly like a trial and error. We have to do trial and error to make it, to find what works best for us. And then we have intense requirement for discipline and punctuality. I'm sure all the teachers can agree to this, that maintaining discipline is also very difficult in online classes, and it is also difficult to have students being punctual. I have sometimes students who are joining very late into the class. Maybe I'm done halfway through the class and they are coming now and they will be like, teacher, we have device issues, teacher, we have net issues. Okay, I understand. So what will be the solution to these kind of problems? That also I will try to share with you. And lastly, staying connected with students. One of the problems that we face in an online class is that we are not able to stay connected with our students because the time is so limited, and then we have so many things to deliver to them that sometimes we are not able to give them feedbacks, or some kind of communication is lacking with the students because of the online classes. So what can be done in that case also, I will be sharing. Okay. So first I will talk about what we can do in case of passive or idle learners. So definitely in an, because I'm focusing in the classroom scenario, it is very important as a teacher to plan a lesson, plan a class. Planning is definitely the key here. So when I am planning, I should make sure that, I am involving activities, I'm involving technical resources, also learning strategies so that I can cater to the different types of students that I have. Maybe 100% of it will not be possible, but at least some of it I can include. So planning is the key over here, because when you're planning a lesson, you are not only just making sure what all needs to be delivered and the students are learning, how it is delivered and how they will get the knowledge. That is also the key here. I mean, it is very similar to a physical classroom, how what we have done it in a traditional way, but then how now we can apply those same things in the online context. So thankfully, now that we have technology and we have laptops, computers, internet, and we are at home, things have become, honestly, I feel that it has become much more easier for the teachers. Now I will go to the step 1 of planning. Is that break down the lesson and make it digestible. So whenever we are planning, because we are having we have crunched for time, we have very limited time in an online class, we need to deliver so many things to the students. So what we have to do is break down the portion. I mean, break it down so that the students understand and not just a whole topic. I mean, if it was a physical class, maybe we could do to some extent, though we should not be doing it. We should still do the same here as well. We have to break it down and make it smaller in chunks so that they can understand. Bring fun into the classroom. So These are some things that we can apply. I mean, we try to do that in the traditional classroom as well, but we always used to have some problems, especially in our school setting. We used to have difficulties maybe bringing fun into the classroom because some fun requires technology. But now that we are here at home and we are learning through online classes, it is much easier for teachers to inculcate different kinds of resources, activities, and different kinds of things into the class. And it doesn't only mean activities, you can do different kinds of things. You can bring music into the class, you can bring drawing into the class. There are different kinds of things that you can do now. Then adapt in class activities to the virtual classroom. So here I mean that I should include activities, different types of activities, so that my students are always involved in doing something and they are not just idly listening to me while I'm explaining. So there are so many types of activities like icebreaker activities, we have puzzles, we have presentations, we have peer reviews, quizzes, brainstorm sessions, so many things we can do with activities. I will talk later more in detail about the different types of activities that we can use. Next is make it visually compelling. So instead of just using the whiteboard and then explaining to them or just having a one-way communication with them, I can make a PowerPoint presentation and I can make it visually compelling. Like I can make it vibrant, I can make it colorful. I'm sure if you can see my presentation, I thought that it is childish, but then, I mean, for today's presentation, it looks a little childish, but it is very vibrant, it is colorful. I hope I'm able to grab your attention with this. Okay, next is use technology to your advantage. As I said, now that we are we are at home, we are using the smartphones, the tabs, and the laptops. We have the internet at our use. We can use technology like to the maximum. To the maximum, we can make use of technology. I mean, in the school setting, we used to have difficulty with that because we were lacking technology, or we were having restrictions to certain extent that we were not able to use them, and time didn't allow us to use technology. So right now, everything is in technology, so we should make the use of it. Yeah, we have so many things we can do with technology. Like we can have discussion boards, we have virtual games, text editors, and we have drawing tools, screen sharing tools. So we can use all of that to our advantage. Now, for example, if I were to teach in English, if I want to teach students how to write an email, so instead of having them write down on a pen and paper, I can actually tell them that go to the Gmail and then I will show them. Okay, this is where you type in the address and then this is where you put in the subject and this is how the body should be like. So I can teach them along with me. Next is set goals and help students stick to them. So one way of having an interactive class is that I should set some goals for my students to follow or to keep track of. So for example, if I'm teaching a subject, I should keep some checklist where they can know where they are in the process, how they are progressing, and where they are in the progress and what is the next task that they have to do. So I can set some goals so that my students can follow or keep track. So next thing is that the teacher should present themselves well. We should show our best self in the online classes also. Like for a physical class, when we go, we are all tidied up, we are dressed up well, we like to look prim and proper. The same thing you need to do in the online classes also. Of course, you should show your face. So this way they know that yes, the teacher is there and then she is listening us, she is with us. So that way they will be more involved. They will feel that yes, we also need to be here because our teacher is here. And then also what we mean by present your best online self is that the background or the place where you're sitting, it should also be prim and proper. Like it should be tidied up, it should be clean so that students can see you well. And also, for example, if you're giving them some activity or you're making a PowerPoint presentation, it should also look neat so that it's not too much information all jammed into one slide, but sorted out nicely. Now, one thing I feel that online teaching has taught me is that we need to be very patient. we anyways are required that as a teacher, even in the physical classes. But here it is like now we have so many difficulties with technical issues that we are required to be even much more patient with our students. So yes, be patient with your students, help them out, listen to them, then it will help in, it will aid in the smooth functioning of an interactive class. Also, we need to make our students feel valued. We need to make our students feel valued in the sense that because of online classes, there is a lack of interaction with our students. And we do not know what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what is their problems. So whenever they are coming to you and they are sharing some things with you or their difficulties with you, welcome them, listen to them, and then help them out. And the next thing is record your lessons. Now, this is very important, I feel, and it is actually, this is a method that our principal also suggested us, that record your lessons. It is going to benefit you. It is going to benefit the students also. Now, recording lessons, it is helpful in the sense that students who missed, of course, can go back to the video that you have recorded for them, and they don't have to wait for you to give a separate class or separate session. They can just go back to the video and they can listen, and then in a different session, they can ask you the doubts. And these can also serve as a resource for the students who have attended the classes. So those students who have attended the classes, they can go back to this video and they can, if they have missed any points when you are explaining, they can go back to it and they can learn from it. And then seek feedback from your students. So when we are talking about an interactive class, it should not be the teacher, only the teacher doing things for the students. You should also seek, like, it shouldn't be just you giving feedback to the students. It should be you also seeking the feedback from students. Now we are very new to this whole online teaching. So of course, seeking feedback from your students will allow you to improve on yourself. It will improve you. So you can, they can give you a feedback on maybe if there was anything that they didn't understand and they would like you to work on it. And then if you were able to meet their needs, and if you have to improve your approach. So all of these things can be understood if you are if you seek feedback from your students. So you can also develop your teaching techniques or your way of approaching the lessons. And these kind of feedback, maybe you can ask them personally, or you can make a survey for all the students and you can give the link to them and they can fill it out, and so you can see what's happening. I think how you have in universities, there are teacher evaluations. So same like that, we can do that. Just a way to find out how you're teaching or what needs to be improved. Now, these are some things that we can include in activities. When I mean different types of activities, so we can have some activities like icebreakers. So this can include games like charades, hangman, bingo, 3 words. There's so many activities available at your hand, like at your disposal. You can just go to the net, you can find loads of ideas on how to what are some of the activities for icebreakers. And then for teaching a lesson, maybe you can have a brainstorming session. That works wonderfully for making students have critical thinking, problem solving skills. And then we have some things like role playing or branching scenarios, where you give the students a situation and they act it out, so that they are learning how things work in the real life and not just in a pen and paper. So this way they are also prepared for the real life and they have practical experience. Now, group activities is something which may seem difficult to do in an online class, but it is not impossible. So at the beginning of the semester, when you know who are your students, maybe you can group them out from the very beginning, and then you can let them know that these are your group members. So whenever you're giving a group activity, they can just communicate with those students and they can work on their projects. And also you can have things like debates, critical thinking activities. And then we have something called the fun PowerPoint templates for games and activities. Now I will show you what this looks like in a bit. So SlidesGo, the website SlidesGo, actually they have wonderful templates that you can use in your PowerPoint presentation, not only for presenting, but also for games. So you have clickable PowerPoint templates. When you click, it will take it will take you to the next part. And then we have worksheets. Of course, if you go to Pinterest, there are bundles of worksheet activities available. You can just use any of it. Also, we have activities for assessment. So activities doesn't necessarily mean that activities for having fun in the class. It can be for so many different kind of things. You can have activities for group activities, individual activities, for assessment, for icebreakers. So the options are endless. So if I can show you a little bit of what slides go look like. So this is SlidesGo. This is the website. So you can see that they have many kinds of templates here. Still not coming. Are you seeing the screen, or is it not showing?
It's showing.
Yes, yes.
We can see.
Oh. No, I'm
We are
trying to show.
seeing the screen.
No, okay. I think the SlidesGo is not coming. All right, no problem.
No,
So you
that's
can
not
just.
coming.
Yeah, I will. It will be there in the PPT. If anybody is interested, then you can see it later. You can check it out. It's called slidesgo.com. So I have the links over here. So the different kinds of links for the types of games that you can play in the class, the activity sheets. Also, one very interesting thing is the book widgets. This website. Here you have multiple types of games that you can play in the class with your students. You just need to share the screen, and you can choose the types of game you want to play. They have hangman, bingo, guessing games, different kinds of games. So the options are endless. Now, I will talk a little bit about learning strategies, is that because it is important to involve these strategies when you're teaching the class, we cannot forget about them. I mean, I'm trying to have an interactive class, so this is definitely a little important on my part, so that, you know, I am catering to the needs of different kinds of students. So as we know, there are 7 different types of learning strategies, and we have already had so many workshops on them. So I'm not going to go very much in detail, just how we can accommodate this kind of learning strategies or learners in our class. So we have the visual learners. For them, we can have charts, images, and diagrams. We can use color codes, make it vibrant, make it colorful so that it catches their eyes, their attention, and they are easily able to grasp easily. And then for auditory learners, we can record the lessons for them to listen later. And then we can encourage them to teach each other. So if they have a friend, they can communicate together and they can learn together. Verbal learners also, we can ask them to discuss or present in the class. We can give them a topic and we can ask them that, yes, present this topic. So then, you know, we are involving the students this way. They're not just sitting and listening, they're also involved in the teaching. Logical learners, we can give them problem solving tasks. We can give them challenges to work things out on themselves. And then we can provide them statistics and facts. And then for kinesthetic learners, we can encourage them to draw diagrams, graphs, maps. You know, these are all applicable to different kinds of subjects. And then with social learners, we can ask them to role play. And then we can ask them to bounce off ideas of each other and compare their ideas together. So these all kinds of activities we can give for catering to this kind of students, or unknowingly also we involve activities that cater to this kind of needs. Excuse me. And I found something interesting is that when I was researching, I found some websites actually where you can find out the learning type of your student, and also the same for the teachers, where you can find out your teaching style. So if anybody is interested, you can try it out with your students to know what is their learning strategy or what is their learning type, so that you can focus individually on these students. And then of course, lastly, we have the solitary learners who like to learn by themselves. So for them, you can provide visual materials, books, and learning aids. Now, technical issues is the next difficulty we have when conducting or in this smooth functioning of an interactive class. We have so many technical issues, students complaining every time. It is understandable, it is acceptable, it happens, even we face these kind of problems. So what we can do with this kind of situation is that, firstly, before we introduce any kind of platform or any kind of technology to our students, we need to assess whether the students have reliable access to that technology. And if they have it, then we can go to the next part, which is giving them an onboarding session. So how to use this platform or how to use this technology and what needs to be done. So we need to give a session on that. Along with that, we can give a session for the parents, because in the lower classes like the kindergartens or junior section, maybe the students will not be able to do everything on their own. So parents' guidance is also needed. So in that case, we can give an orientation for the parents also. And this way, the students will also be learning, the parents will also be learning, teachers are also learning along with them. So all in all, everyone is advancing. And then we can give them some guidelines to follow in case of technical issues. So what we can give them some guidelines in the sense that if they have any technical problems or if they have any kind of difficulties, they can be they will be able to communicate with us and try to solve that problem. And also lastly, we can make some alternative arrangements. So if they have technical issues and they can at least we can provide them with a backup for that problem. Okay. The next difficulty definitely is discipline and punctuality. I tend to have this problem a lot with my students, and I think that the most rewarding, most what do you say? The best way to handle this problem is the reward system. And before I get into the reward system, first of all, we need to set some rules and consequences. Like what happens if you break a rule, and we should give this kind of information to our students at the beginning of our semester so that they know that, okay, if I do this, this is going to be expected, like this is what's going to happen, so that they know from the very early that, yes, if I do this thing in this class, I'm going to be facing this consequence. So for example, if someone is tardy for 3 consecutive times, we can we can stop them from attending the next class, and then we can deduct their points also. And then if they misbehave, we can deduct some points. And in case of controlling noise in the class, we can mute all the students and ask them to raise their hands if they have a question. So we can do all of this. And then in case of punctuality, as I said, if they are tardy, then we can avoid them from attending the next class. We can call their parents and inform them. And when there are problems such as device issues or network issues, they need to inform it beforehand. They need to at least inform someone so that we can keep in mind, yes, this student had this problem, so we need to give them an excuse. If they do not inform, then they will be marked unexcused absence. Now I will get into the rewarding system. So we have something called the digital stickers, and this can be done in the Google Classroom, Google Documents. We can give students digital stickers. And then we have virtual theme day. The students can dress up as different characters, or they can use different props, and then they can even have digital backgrounds. So you can have a virtual theme day that way. Maybe you can have a travel day, pajama day, throwback day, anything you like. Also, we have something called the award class dojo points. I will show the platform very soon. This is actually, I feel that this platform is very, very effective and very interesting. It is going to attract the students, and it is going to make them more active in the class. So also we can use something like the Zoom filter. Since we are using Zoom a lot for our classes, we can use the Zoom filter. There are some filters that students can use. And so this one can be a rewarding way. And also you can host a virtual dance party or a virtual field trip. Also, you can give them virtual certificates. Okay. So I will just quickly show you what the Class Dojo looks like. These are some platforms for managing student behavior. Okay, I will stop the screen and share screen option again. Please just one moment. Stop share. Okay. So this is Class Dojo. This is very interesting, and I feel that younger kids would be very interested. Up to the middle section, we can use this platform for the students. So Here we have something like, this is the classroom once you sign in and you make your class and the students join. So this is how it's going to look like. These are the types of characters your students can see. And then you can mark attendance. For example, here, if everyone is present, you can mark them present, or you can just click here for absence. Red denotes absence. And then we have something like, maybe they went out for a certain period of time, or they were out for they were present half day. So these all are possible here. And also we have, you can select random students if you want to give them some feedback or anything like that. You can choose each student and you can give them feedback. We have things like helping others. You can give them points for helping others, for participating, for working hard, for teamwork. You can also make your own skills over here. You can reward them with skills. And we have this toolkit here. For example, you're giving them an activity and you can set up the timer for that. And then you can choose students randomly. Also, you can use this for making groups. And then this is the noise meter, something that you can definitely use in your class. So once the students go above this noise level, they will be getting their points deducted. They can, you have think, parents, share, music. So many things that you can do here. Also here you can give them activities, assignments, portfolios. Here you can give them assignments. Yeah, you can create an activity here. You can write the title, the instructions, and then what is the mode of response you want for them. And then you can choose who you want to assign it to. If you want, you can assign it to the whole class or just a particular student. And then you have class story. This is like a social media platform, how you have in Facebook and all of that. You can post what's happening in the class or what they have done. So you can post a status here and everyone can see. Another way, another thing I like about this platform is that messages. You can message parents, just like how we have in Google Classroom or WhatsApp or email. The same thing we can apply here. And I personally do not enjoy receiving calls again and again and again so many times. So I prefer this kind of platform where they can just leave the message and I can get back to them and I can communicate through emails or something. I really prefer this method. So definitely teachers can check this out. It is going to be very interesting for the students as well. So you can, instead of just using Google Classroom, you can use Class Dojo as well. Now, I found something more interesting for senior students because it is difficult to grab the attention of senior students and they are much more interested in playing PUBG behind the scenes rather than attending the classes. So we have something called the Classcraft. And why this is interesting is because here they can build their characters. They have characters, and when the teachers rewards them, they get points, and then with that points they can upgrade their characters. They will have battles and stuff. So the teacher can what do you say, make stages in the games, and those stages are basically your lessons. And then every time you do a lesson, you can give them points and they can fight battles and all of this stuff. So teachers who are interested, please do check it out. I think it will be interesting for the students. All right, I'll go back to the presentation, just a little bit more left. Then, okay. Now staying connected with students. Okay, I have to stop and start again. Stop share.
Khadija, 5 minutes left.
No problem, ma'am. I will finish it up. Okay, staying connected with students. As I said, we have lack of communication. There is a lack of interaction with the students. So we need to make it possible for them to interact with us. And these all communications, this happens after the class is over, but it will aid us in the smooth functioning of the class during the class. So if they have any doubts, if they have any queries, and what is their progress, how far they have come along, for these we need to give them, we need to have some communication with our students. So one of the way is feedback. So giving them feedback on how they are performing in the class, what needs to be done, what is their progress, and what they need to improve on, what they need to work on. So along with seeking feedback from your students, you also need to give them feedback. So it is a student to teacher communication, student to student communication. So this feedback is very essential when you're trying to stay connected with your students. So you can also offer them something like the weekly course reports, where you can outline how they have performed or where they need work, so that at the end, over the course of the semester, they will know how they have progressed. Now, what is the student's role in having an interactive class? So of course, they need to treat the online course like a real course. How would they be disciplined and punctual when attending the physical class? They need to treat the online class in the same way. They need to practice time management, and they need to have a regular space of studying, so where they can stay organized, and they should also eliminate distractions, and they should also actively participate. So they will actively participate, and you are also creating an environment for them to actively participate. Then you will have a smooth functioning interactive class. Then organization, students' roles, they need to keep a calendar to mark down assignments, assess tests, exams, having individual folders in the Google Drive for each subject, keeping a to-do list, portfolios, and then communication with the teachers. So as we communicate with the students can also communicate with us. We need to welcome their queries. We need to welcome, make them feel valued, and make them feel that, yes, your queries will be answered. And then, yes, and then also there are so many other different kinds of platforms that you can use: WhatsApp, Remind app, or email. So the options are endless. So in conclusion, having an online class or teaching online can be difficult. It can be nerve-wracking, and having to have an interactive class can be even more difficult. But it's okay. Just a little bit of planning, little bit of dedication and effort will go a long way. That's it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Khadija. That was really excellent. Don't think that your presentation was childish. It was vibrant, and we enjoyed
Thank you.
it. And definitely, inshallah, from January, we have to try this class Dojo and also the other PUBG type platform
Yes.
for the senior students. We will start with class Dojo for the junior section at kindergarten. And dear
There
teachers,
are many different kinds of platforms. Whatever works for the teacher, they can definitely give it a try. It needs a little bit of
yes,
research and trial and error. So
yes,
you
yes.
can go ahead.